You got dumped and you wisely went no contact after getting dumped, but now you've begun to notice that your ex is viewing your Facebook or your Instagram stories because you can see their name showing up on the list of people who have viewed those. And you're wondering, what the hell does it mean? So let's talk about it. In this video, I'm going to cover the 4 things that it could mean. It could mean any one of these things. And I'm going to cover some do's and don'ts of what to do to maximize your chances of getting them back. Now, the first thing that it could mean if they're viewing your Facebook or Instagram stories is that they're just simply curious about you. You spend a lot of time together. They know you really well. You know them really well. And they're just kind of curious about what you've been up to lately because you went into no contact and they literally have no way of finding out other than stalking your social media. And this doesn't necessarily have any deeper meaning. It's kind of just like maybe when you look up an old high school friend on Facebook or something just to see if you can find them just because you're curious. Common meaning number 2. Habit scrolling. A lot of the time, social media platforms suggest posts to us based on our viewing history. So if the two of you used to frequently look at each other's social media when you were together, it's not unlikely that Facebook or Instagram or other platforms are still showing your content to them. So they're not actually going to the search bar and typing in your name. It's just kind of popping up and they're just kind of scrolling mindlessly and looking at it occasionally. This is probably the least significant of the 4 signs I'm covering. Common meaning number 3, they're actually missing you. They are intentionally seeking you out. They are typing your name into the search bar and looking at your specific page and profile and post to see what you've been up to because they genuinely miss the connection that the two of you had. And they're likely going to be viewing your stories multiple times, probably also looking at your posts, although there's no way to actually know that unless they like it or comment on it. But you may actually start to see some of that kind of engagement as well if they're truly missing you. What I don't, however, want you to do is to reach out and break no contact yet. This is not enough information to warrant breaking no contact. They need to be more overt in their communication with you so that you know directly that they're interested. Then you break no contact and try and make a date with them to get together. And common meaning number 4, they're checking up on your progress, but from a competitive standpoint. They want to see you in misery, devastated without them, and they want to see that you can't move on and you're struggling, and they want to know where you're at compared to their progress in terms of moving on after the breakup. So this has nothing to do with them wanting to get back together again with you. It's pure ego-driven competitiveness, hoping that you're not doing as well as they are. So I mentioned staying in no contact unless you get some sort of direct message from them. So you're not going to confront them about this. You're not going to let them know that you've seen them show up on your Facebook or Instagram stories list. Now, obviously, if they're like commenting on it or hearting it or something along those lines, you'll know, and they'll likely know that you've noticed that, but you're not going to directly let them know this. You want them to wonder about it. You want them to go, well, I wonder, did he see that I liked his story or did he see that I viewed his story? You want them thinking like that, and you want to seem mysterious and aloof and maybe a little distant, and they're not sure where you stand. They're not sure if you even noticed or if you even care, because anytime somebody is wondering about you, their attraction for you is going up, and that's exactly what you want if you want them back. Now, if you want to do something that's a tiny bit manipulative, you could start to post things on Facebook or Instagram stories intentionally to evoke an emotional response from them. Maybe the two of you have a song together and you post that song with some sort of vague video. Maybe there are other things that you could post that would evoke an emotional response in them and trigger memories of the two of you doing things together. Now, I just don't want you to be super obvious about it. I don't want it to be painfully obvious that you're just doing this to get their attention. You want to be subtle about it, but it could be a little bit manipulative, but it could also work. And I say that because I've done it. Now, having said all of that, there are actually some reasons that you might want to block them after noticing that they're stalking your Facebook or Instagram stories. Number 1, if you are starting to obsess over it, you can't get them out of your mind and you're constantly checking your Facebook or Instagram stories to see if they're viewing all of your stories, and you're constantly posting things intentionally trying to evoke a reaction from them, and you're just spending a lot of time and mental energy anguishing over this, then you need a break unless they are messaging you directly, letting you know that they're interested in reconciliation. If they're doing that, then great. Set a date to get together in person, ideally in the evening, ideally at your place. But if they're not doing that and it's affecting your mental health, you might actually want to block them. But another reason to block them would be that if you are now in a new relationship and it's starting to affect the intimacy, the emotional intimacy with your new person, you just need to block the ex, get them out of sight and out of mind so that you can truly move on. Ultimately, you want to be posting content authentically because it's genuinely reflecting things that you are doing in your life that you're excited about and that you want to share with close family and friends. You don't want to go down this manipulative rabbit hole where you're just second guessing constantly and posting things just to get a reaction from them and kind of this tit for tat thing that never actually goes anywhere. Remember, you want them back. And if they're not coming back, then you need to move on with your life. But where are you at on this journey? Let me know your story down in the comments. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.